Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Howson. This is a Sunday paper review. Now, sifting through the bullshit this morning, there's not really a lot going on in the newspapers, but I have picked out a few topics that I think we should talk about and things that I will talk about now. I've got the Telegraph. I've only pulled the sports section out because obviously the Telegraph's one of those enormous newspapers that you can pretty much decorate your house with. They're just a joke, aren't they? How would you get it the right way around? So I've got the Telegraph Sport, which actually didn't have a great deal in it, and I've got the Mail. The Mail's not too bad actually, apart from the first headline which I'm going to read, or the first article which I'm going to read to you. The headline is Full Speed Jose. England kid Rashford signs 25k a week deal as United closing on big name striker. Alright, that's a pretty sensible sort of sub-headline. We signed Rashford up to a new deal. I think it says 4 years he's signed. And we're closing on a big name striker. Who is the big name striker? Well, I'll tell you who the big name striker is. The big name striker is Ibrahimovic and Benzema and Morata and Aubameyang. What a fucking absolute case of covering all bases there. You might as well just throw up a flag that says, I don't have a clue. We are not signing 4 strikers this summer. I will put my house, my kid and my dog on it, right? Diesel, come here. Oh, he's asleep. He's not having it. 4 strikers. We're not signing 4 strikers. What sort of nutcase newspaper? Look, it's already come out in the newspapers who we're signing. We're signing a centre-half, or we're trying to sign a centre-half, centre-mid, centre-forward, and a right winger. Do you know why? Because that's what we need. So, all of this is just utter nonsense apart from that. John Stones' name's come up again. I don't like John Stones. I think he's massively overrated. I think for the money that you're looking at for him, and I would rather, like I said, I'd rather go for Huides, I'd rather go for Ashley Williams, I'd rather go with someone that's just a little bit more experienced and a ton cheaper, and someone that's at the right age of their career where we can move them on in 3 to 4 years, because in 3 to 4 years you've got the likes of Roshan Williams, Tyrell Warren, Axel Tuanzebe, all moving into being 20, 21 sort of age. That's the right time, because them 3 kids are fucking magic, right? And it's unfortunate that there's 3 of them coming through at the same time. 4 if you include Fosu Mensah as a centre-half. Because those 3 kids, if they was at 3 different clubs, would all make it. Now, the problem is that they're all at United. Chances are one of them's making it. The chances that you can't play 3 centre-halves for starters, including what we've already got at centre-half. So, the 3 of them are not making it at United. That's the issue. If one was at Arsenal, one was at Chelsea, one was at United, I'd be fairly confident that they'd make it because they're absolutely mint. The problem is they're like a year between the 3 of them, and they're all English. Tuanzebe is from the Congo, but I think he's just declared for England, which is fantastic news for England because this is a player. Roshan's a player. Tyrell Warren is a player. They're all 3 completely different styles of centre-half, and they all complement each other mint. And I would love to see them all come through. They're not all going to come through, but if you buy someone that's at the right age, 28, 29, 30, that allows the breathing room for that player to come through. If you sign somebody like John Stones for 45 million, which is what's being touted, then he's going to go in front of those and he's going to stay there and stifle the development of those players. And I don't know if he's that good to want to get him to stifle the development of those players. If he was the most obvious talented defender in the world, then I would say yeah, but he's had I'm not even going to say bang average, he's been below average, he's been poor this season. There's been mistakes from him directly attributed to goals, so I don't see the hype around him. Rio Ferdinand at 18 had a lot of hype around him, but you know why? Because he was living up to it. John Stones does not have the same hype. If he did, then I would go for it, but he doesn't. I'd rather see some of these lads come through from the academy because I think there's more to them. And I can't split the 3 of them, in all honesty. Really can't split the 3 of them. They're all that good. Anyway, there's other players mentioned in here. So it then goes on to mention that we're signing a couple of centre-mids, as well as Carrick getting a new deal. Carrick's getting a new deal, but it also mentions Krikoviak from Sevilla and Andre Gomez. Andre Gomez, I've seen that name linked a lot this last few weeks. He's not a sexy name, which makes me think that usually like when Darmian broke, when he was signing, you go, this is probably something in this because ain't nobody selling newspapers on the back of United signing some kid from Torino. So I usually think there's something in those more obscure ones. Krikoviak's been linked before and I like him. I think he's really good. Gomez, not impressed. Really not been massively impressed of him. What I've seen of him, just a middle of the road sort of signing. I don't think Right, here's the deal, right? I think Schneiderlin was unfairly treated last year. I see some people saying he was shit, some people saying he was fantastic. For me, I thought he was above average, and I thought out of all Van Gaal signings, he was probably, apart from Marshall now, obviously, I thought he was the one that was sort of the most just like consistent. I thought he was fine, and I thought one of the issues of having him there, well, one of the consequences of the way we was playing was affecting his gameplay. I think he's a fine midfielder. Our best midfield pairing is Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin. And I was watching the highlights of Schweinsteiger the other day. Someone's made a highlights video. And do you know what? When you break it down, obviously it's a highlights video, so it's not showing his fuck-ups, but he didn't have many fuck-ups, did he? The problem with Schweinsteiger this season is he just didn't play enough. When he did play, he was great. Especially when he was partnered up with Schneiderlin, who would have done more running for him, because he is old, and he's not that old, but he is coming towards the end of his career. You can't deny that. So I would want to see us sort of try and replicate that, and I think Krikoviak's a better option. Gomez he's just vanilla, isn't he? He just doesn't. I don't see what he brings that's going to elevate us. I don't see how he's a Mourinho signing. Mourinho likes him a bit more powerful and dynamic in the midfield, doesn't he? Which is where I think if Timothy Fosu-Mensah hits the ground running in pre-season, if I'm Timothy Fosu-Mensah, I'm thinking pre-season, let me at Dortmund, let me at City, because I'm going to absolutely terrorise them. I'm going to show you why I can be this midfield general for Manchester United for the next 15 years. Because I think he could do it. I think he could do it. If Mourinho puts his face in him. Because what you got to think of, like, what's the issue with an 18-year-old player? It's that they're usually either not physically developed or they're still developing their mental attributes, right? You've all seen what Timothy Fosu-Mensah's like in terms of skill set and mental attributes. The guy's an absolute warrior. Physical attributes, the guy's fucking huge. If he's going to get bigger, then awesome. Central midfielder for me. Linked to Pogba, because people are lazy. He's nothing like Pogba. He is more in the Brian Robson mould for me. All action hero, Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Also mentions on the back page here that Karen Borthwick-Jackson's going to be getting a new deal, which is absolutely fantastic and well-deserved. But yeah, there's no way we're going to sign Gomez, Krikoviak, and give Carrick a new deal, as well as sign 4 fucking centre-forwards. Come on, son. Sort it out. Right, centre of the mail. We have got this team sheet. Is it the same guy? It's the same pissing guy that wrote the back page story. Now this, I have seen pop up in a few different websites and tweets and things like that, right? This is Jose Mourinho's starting 11 for August. And it's got Varane, right? As I was saying about someone coming in, like a Stones, ahead of the likes of Williams and Tuanzebe and that, Varane's got it. Varane is that level of player. How are you getting out with the European champions from Madrid, though? That's the problem. That's not going to happen cheaply. Now, I think it could happen. Madrid do have a big turnover of players. We've seen that in the past. He's got a relationship, Mourinho. That could happen. That could happen. Is it an improvement on what we've got? Absolutely. So, I would go with that. I just think it's unlikely. We're always linked to that level of player, aren't we? The fact that we never generally sign that level of player. You don't sign the guys that's there yet. You usually sign the players either on the way up there or on the way down from there. It's not usually the United style to sign a player right at the peak of his game. That's a very rare thing. The fucking joke of this is Phil Jones is at right back. I'm sorry, mate. Joe Bernstein. Are you fucking nuts? Phil Jones is not going to be right back in any Manchester United side. Varella's ahead of him. Valencia's ahead of him. Fucking Joel Riley is ahead of him. There is no way at all. Phil Jones' career at Manchester United, I think, is very, very likely to be finished. Very likely to be finished. Roshan Williams was covering for him in the under-21s and playing better than him. You can say, all right, yeah, he's coming back from injury. He's been coming back from injury since January. I'm talking about last month, right? Roshan Williams was covering up the mistakes Phil Jones was making, and alongside him was looking better than him, right? That's a 17-year-old lad. This is an England international. And he's not a right-back either, he's a centre-half. So, no, absolutely not. You're looking for your full-backs to provide width in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Or what looks like, this is a 4-2-3-1 formation. You're looking for your full-backs to provide width and to get attacking crosses going in. Phil Jones isn't that. He's not that. He can be a decent centre-half. He's gone off the boil massively recently. So, no. I'm not having that. There's better at the club and he's better out there if you want to go and sign one. So that's nuts. Then it's got Benzema up front. Now, if the rumours of Aubameyang going to Real Madrid, and I think that's more likely than him, like the back page says here, coming to United, then Benzema's going to be looking out for an out. And I think James Rodriguez is also going to be looking for an out. I think they're more likely to be playing centre-forward and right wing than it is for Rashford to be playing right wing. Rashford had poor games when he was playing on the right wing. The only thing that's good about him on the right wing is that he gets in and gets behind because his pace is just ridiculous. So he manages to get in behind defences when he's played wide in a similar way to the way Marshall does. It's got Rooney at number 10. I think that's likely, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him leave. That's not me saying that we should sell him. That's not me saying he will go. That's just me saying if he went, I would not be shocked. Some of you clearly would be shocked. I wouldn't be. It's got Carrick and Niguez in the centre of midfield. Niguez, like him. That's the sort of player I could see Mourinho getting. The difference is now if I think you're going to struggle getting players out of Atletico Madrid. Now, they are a selling club. They are a club that likes to turn over players quite a lot. Niguez, though, not sure that's the one you're going to get out. Then it's got Carrick as a starter. Carrick, if he gets a new deal, yeah, keep him around. But I don't see him starting ahead of the likes of Schneidlin, even Schweinsteiger if he's kept around next season. This is just an awful side for what potentially we could be getting, really. It's just... Did he do this in 3 minutes before he had to submit the article? There's no thought to this. You might get a couple of players out of Madrid, but it's not going to be Varane and Benzema at the same time. It's certainly not going to be Varane, Benzema, and James Rodriguez. You're not getting all them three. And the fact that we've needed a right winger for so long, why you would then go and sign another striker, I don't know. I think Memphis needs a shout. I wouldn't mind seeing him on the right-hand side. Don't know if we're going to see him on the right-hand side. But it's going to be interesting. By the looks of things, there's a lot of work going into what's going on with transfers at the moment. So I don't think we're going to have to wait too long. And I do think Zlatan Ibrahimovic is going to be here. So Zlatan's going to be in that side, isn't he? Let's face it. Now, Glenn Hoddle's had a chat in a column talking about Ryan Giggs. And there's also something about Ryan Giggs... Is it the start of the sports section here in the Mail? I think it is. I can't find it. Saying that he's flying in for talks to decide what happens, whether he actually parts ways with the club at the moment. And Glenn Hoddles is of the opinion of, as I think I am, and most of you guys are as well, I think that it's now time for Giggs to go on and improve himself and show what he can do as a manager. And let's see the clamour for Ryan Giggs to be on the back of him achieving success. If you went to someone like Southampton or somewhere like that, and got them into the top 6, maybe they had a decent run in Europe, that would be enough, I think, for people to say he's ready. Because I think the problem you've got with Mourinho now is you might as well start the watch for 3 years and say, look, in 3 years he's probably not going to be here, right? We might have been successful in the interim, but he's probably not going to be here in 3 years. Let's start lining up potential candidates right now so we don't have the issues that we've had looking for managers in the last 3 years when things haven't gone wrong. You've got to expect that manager, if we are in this era where managers only last 3 years, you have to start lining up the next manager and maybe even the next manager after that, as mad as that sounds. And Ryan Giggs can be in that. He can be in that shortlist, but he's absolutely going to need some evidence for it, because being a number 2 in 2 failed regimes is not evidence that you're going to be a great manager. Simple as that for me. So, that's them ones. What are we on next? Oh yeah, Ashley Fletcher. Let me find that. Ashley Fletcher's playing in the League One playoffs today for Barnsley. So we wish him all the luck in the world for that, because Ashley's gone out on loan. If I can find it. Here we go. Ashley's gone out on loan. He's already won the Johnson's Paint Trophy. He has scored 8 goals in 16 starts. He's having a decent little run of it. 20 years old. They face Millwall today at Wembley, so good luck to him. Might tune in later and see how he gets on. He's an exciting player. Certainly a decent return there in League One. Let's see if he can make anything from it. Be a big season next year for him. I think a big season in the 21s. Maybe another loan, and you might see something of him. Is he good enough for the first team? Shit, I don't know. I wouldn't have said Marcus Rashford was going to the Euros. In fact, do you know what? Before I started the video, I wanted to have a quick look whether what I said about Marcus going to the Euros in a video that I did about Rashford. Because I'm pretty sure we laughed at I think we mentioned it, and it was a bit tongue-in-cheek when it said, oh, maybe he'll go to the Euros. But it was entirely tongue-in-cheek. Didn't actually think that he would go to the Euros. But scoring a goal on his debut like he's done, the 90-odd days that he's had since making his debut, he's just absolutely smashed it, hasn't he? He's literally just absolutely smashed it. And if he goes to the Euros, I wouldn't put it past him scoring in his first group game, in the first knockout stage, or anything like that. Because what must his confidence be like now? He must think he must look at a swimming pool and go, walk across at me. Watch. The guy can't do no wrong at the moment, can he? Absolutely fair play to him. He's forced himself into contention. When people say take your chances as a young player when they're given to you, they just need to show you a season highlights of Marcus Rashford and you go, that's how you take your chance. Every single big opportunity that came for him, he absolutely took it. Fair play to him. Absolutely fair play to him. Right, what else have we got then? So, oh yeah, here we go. So we got this one here from, it's still in the mail. There was jack shit in the Telegraph, even though it took me 3/4 of an hour to find the sports section. Everton are eyeing up Pellegrini, which I don't think would be a bad option for Everton, to be honest. I think that would be a decent sort of shout for him. He is a decent manager, just fucking boring, isn't he? And maybe they need that. Maybe they need someone that's a little bit more pragmatic after they've had Martinez, who does play nice football, but tactically and defensively he's just garbage. So it'd be interesting to see exactly how good Pellegrini is when he's faced with a side that's not as good as the City one. But that won't be a bad move for Everton. I think half of the league next year is on a hiding to nothing because there's so many top managers in the league that how anyone's going to think they're getting success next year, I really don't know. It's going to be difficult for anybody. Also on the same page, it's got Wembley to host Spurs Champions League games next season. That's a strange one. I know they're moving fully to Wembley for the 17-18 season, but just moving grounds for your Champions League games. Arsenal did this either early 2000s or late 90s, I seem to remember. And I'm sure that was just for the Champions League games. I don't know if I'd enjoy that or not. I mean, I wouldn't enjoy moving stadiums, obviously, and there's no need for us to leave Old Trafford ever, I wouldn't have thought. So I can't see that ever happening at United. But this with Spurs it's a strange one, I have to admit. The plans for new stadium do look awesome, and I love that they're making it 61k capacity, so it's 1,000 more than the Emirates. I think if you wanted to truly take the piss, you'd make it 60,001. But they've gone for 61,000, so it's bigger than the Emirates. I love that they've done that. I think that's hilarious. But then they're going to move to Wembley for the full campaign for the 17-18 season. What's that going to mean for us in terms of an away allocation? Because I think if you give United 20,000 tickets, we'd fill the lot, no problem whatsoever. And that'd be a cracking away, wouldn't it? I think that's what they've got to do. I think they've got to do massive away capacities and fill it. And it'd be really interesting to see. It'd be weird for Spurs going to Wembley every single week, but I suppose they're not too far from Wembley anyway, are they? Right, so the last one that we've got for you, the same sort of things was covered in the Telegraph, in all honesty. So I don't want to just go over the old ground. I'd already sort of made notes from stuff that was in the mail. So the big one, really, and obviously it's origami time. The big one that we've got down here is, again, it's popping up all the time, is drugs in sport. Seb Coe, Lord Coe, has come out and said it's delusional to call the 2012 Olympics the dirtiest games, despite the fact that they are technically the dirtiest games that have ever happened. Now, they're the dirtiest because the most people got caught. Now, does that mean that more people was doing steroids at this one than any other? Probably not. So he does have a point, but technically, more people got caught at this Olympics doing drugs than any other Olympics. So it's the dirtiest games, mate. You're just going to have to get over that. The other thing that's in this is the Olympics are basically just ignoring scientists about the Zika virus. Now, I don't know too much about what the Zika virus is. It sounds something out of The Walking Dead or out of Resident Evil, doesn't it? It's I know it's not that. But it sounds like this is a really contagious disease, and the fact that you've got 100 or so people or more from every single nation on the world flying to one location where this virus is, and then they're going to fly back out and fly home, seems a little bit irresponsible to me. The World Health Organization it's the World Health Organization that's rejected the call to move the Olympics. So the World Health Organization have said it's not going to significantly alter the spread of the virus. I assume that they know more than I do, but just logically thinking, I don't understand how you can fly so many people from the from one place, fly to one place, and then them flying out. How that's not going to help spread the virus? It's bananas to me thinking that. And he's also on the same page that boxing faces a ban from the Olympics. Now, the Olympics are starting to piss me off. They've got tennis, they've got golf, they've got football, which don't need to be at the Olympics. They've got their own local level and national and international sort of structures that they don't need. No one gives a fuck. No one finishes their football career and go, do you know what, I didn't win the World Cup, but I did win the Olympics. Football's not about the Olympics, but things like amateur boxing and wrestling. Wrestling was at threat from coming out of the Olympics, which is ridiculous. Wrestling is the original Olympic sport. The Olympics are pissing me off. I mean, the fact that you can do some of the things that you can do. I mean, they're even talking about, what was the mad one that they was doing? Esports. They're talking about esports at the Olympics. FIFA and fucking Pro Evo at the Olympics ahead of wrestling and boxing. Sort your napper out. That is absolutely ridiculous. So there you go. That's today's Sunday paper review. A few things to mull over there. Probably some gaming out tomorrow. Cheers for watching. Anything else I had to say? Can't remember. Okay, see you in a bit.